Hey guys, hope you're doing well. This video is for anyone that's starting out in Spline and is like, what do I wish I knew when I started out, or what do I need to know as I'm starting out? Now, the three things that I want to talk about are Matcaps and Bump Maps, Matcaps and Bump Maps. That's the first thing. The second thing that I want to talk about is using Figma in your designs. And then the third thing that I want to talk about is cloning stuff. Okay, let's start with Matcaps and Bump Maps. So let's delete this. Let's create a circle. So I'm going to click on the plus icon. I'm going to get a sphere and I'm going to draw a sphere. Then I'm going to hold shift. And now this has made a gigantic sphere for me. Now, how do we add a matcap? This looks grim right now, doesn't it? It's like this big circle. We don't really have any idea of its textures or shapes. Now on the right here, you've got all these different materials. If you click plus, you'll see that you have a color automatically added. If you click the drop down, then you can add a matcap. Ooh, yeah. Now, matcaps, in my opinion, are the most fun materials because they can drastically change a design by simply adding one single layer to your object. And when I started out, I was like, oh my god, matcaps are so fun. How do I do them? How do I use them? And what I didn't realize is that I could upload my own images to be used as matcaps. Okay, so you can actually upload your own designs. You can go to Runway, OpenAI, whatever. You can create your own textured effects. Another cool thing you can do actually from here as well is you can create your own textured effects using AI Generate and AI Style Transfer. But for the purpose of this, I'm just going to show you. Boom! Look how differently that feels and looks and how quickly we've made that. It's so wild to me. Obviously you can play around with this. You can change that to overlay or normal or whatever. You can decrease the opacity of that layer. And another thing that I didn't realize that I think is really useful is if you click on the circle and click mask, then you have the effect of this layer, but then you can basically take away the color. But I think that's a really, really powerful little tool there. That's just matcaps. That's just one single layer that you have completely changed the look and feel of that object. The other thing that I want to talk to you guys about is bump maps. So the cool thing about bump maps is you can actually create artificially textures on your objects. So if we were to get this, if we were to draw another sphere, you can tell I like spheres. And let's say then we click on materials in the top here. If we click on this, we can actually click on various different panels, various different things from the Spline library. So we can click a noise, we can click marble pattern, we can click wood noise pattern. What else have we got here? Cartoon and outlining. Oh, we got a kind of disco ball going on. So you can see there's some quite interesting textures already. Let's go back to this marble pattern. Now what we've got here is we've got literally a circular marble, perfectly circular, but it doesn't look that realistic because you can't really see any textures. Let me turn on these lights, so that you can see these a little bit better. Okay, so we've got this, and I'm actually just going to get rid of that for now. Okay, so if we were to actually add some textures, we can do that quite easily by clicking on this and then changing the lighting from from Phong, which it is normally in its usual state, to physical. And then what we can do is we can actually change the roughness of this by changing some of the settings in here. So let's say we change all these to 0.5 and then make the intensity 100. Now you can see now we've actually created what looks like a more weathered marbly stone, but it's actually artificial. It's not going to massively affect load speed time because they're not actually indentations on the object itself. It's all artificial. Super handy. Wish I knew that earlier. That's the first one that I want to show you. The second one is about using Figma and other tools and actually importing stuff into Spline itself. So for this strawberry, what I did was I wanted to have the seeds overlaying on this image as an image on this. So I've got you see this image here. We have got untitled image, not very helpful, but this is seeds, and we can see that these are the seeds by turning them off, and you'll see that we have got rid of the seeds there. So how have I done that? Well, this is actually nothing to do with Spline itself. Actually, inside Figma, I have got a seed, which is literally an image of a little seed. And then what I've done is I've duplicated that and made this kind of wall of seeds, right? And then what I've done is I've clicked export, and I have then wrapped this in these seeds. So if we were to do that now, in fact, let me just turn that off. If we were to do that now, what I can do is I can click the plus icon, I can then go to image, and then I can upload a new image, which is my spaced out seeds. And you're like, wait, Jack, where the hell are the seeds? I don't see no seeds. Well, what you can do here is click on this image and then click spherical, and boom, we got our seeds. You got to make sure that you change this to spherical, obviously on a spherical object, so that it goes all the way around. Okay, super obvious, but I didn't realize that I could actually use Figma and then export stuff from Figma and do things inside Spline. From that, you can actually export stuff from Figma. Let's make a rough shape. What I'm going to do is give that a fill, because it kind of looks like a heart. I'm going to do that. And okay, it's not the most beautiful thing I've ever made, but it's shape. Okay, so what I'm going to do is export this SVG vector 1. Let's go back into here, and I'm going to import SVG vector 1. And where's vector 1 gone? Okay, we've got this. Now, this is a 2D shape, okay? What we can do is we can click on this and we can actually extrude this shape. We can bevel it, and we can make the sides beveled as well. And suddenly we've made a 2D shape into a 3D object, which we can then manipulate in Spline. So super helpful. We've just made something in Figma, we've exported it as an SVG, imported it back into Spline, and now we can manipulate that. And that's so helpful, because there's things that you might want to do outside of Spline, but then make them into 3D. Or, there might be quite detailed elements that might be easier to make in another platform and then import in. So I just think that's important to note as well, and would have saved me so much time if I knew that from the get-go. The last thing that I want to show you is about cloning stuff. Now, I've been making this camera for a friend. We're working on this quite interesting project together. Okay, if I wanted to make a bolt, what I can do is I can actually create a cylinder. Let's turn that 90, and let's just make this 0, 0. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this material. I've actually already made a material for this. So let's just do that. And then what I can do is I can make a 5-sided shape. I can go extrusion, and if I line this up with this, center and max, I think what I'll be able to do is do a Boolean effect. Okay, so we've got a bolt. We've made that bolt. Now, if I needed 6 different bolts around here, what I might have done is gone Control C, Control V. Whoop. Don't know what I've done there. So Control C, Control V, and I'd basically just keep doing that until I had a few different bolts. But that's a bit dumb. What if I wanted them in a direct circle? Then what I can do is I can actually just use a cloner. If I click on the object that I want to clone, I click cloner, then what I can do is I can go radial. I can make multiple different clones. I can change the radius of them. I can make them start at a particular point. I can do a lot of stuff, which means that I don't need to copy and paste every single thing I do. Saves so much time, and I just wish I knew that at the start, that how powerful the clonable tool was and how much you could do with it. So that's the roundup. Hope that was really helpful, guys, to learn a little bit more about Spline and what you can do with it. So I do this newsletter every single week. It's called the Spline Time 3D. I basically write about whatever I'm making. This week I'll probably write actually about making this camera that I've been doing for a client project, which has been quite intricate. There's a lot of different moving parts in here. So anyway, if that interests, let me know. Sign up to Spline Time 3D. It will be in the link below. All of this stuff is clonable on my account. If you go to my community profile, which is community.spline.design/@JackRedley, then you can find me. Also, if you want to check out my website, that's jackredley.design, and I write loads of articles, which every week you can read something else that I'm up to. Most recently, I created an AI voice assistant, which was a little bit creepy, if I'm perfectly honest, but if you want to create one, you can. Anyway, hope that was helpful. 3 things that I wish I knew when I started out in Spline. God damn it, I wish I knew these things. Hope it's helpful. Ciao.